Lots of tired parents have the feeling that they want to focus on their children but are too tired. They know that their child is their whole world. Still, there are moments when a parent just can't manage to emit any more energy, for if you're willing to put in the effort, it can really make all the difference in the world. Laura Corrigan from Dunham in England has been trying her best to play with a little boy. Perhaps she had a different strategy in mind, but she was so determined to keep playing with the pieces that he put down, her leg ended up under them. It was so rewarding for her to play with him, as he was so excited to be with her and sharing the toys. As Laura continued to play with the bricks, she felt her eyelids becoming heavier, her breath was becoming shallow, and she was doing her best to continue to play. It took all of her effort to focus on her son and the toys. She told herself to play for just a little while longer and did her best to be attentive. As she played, the little boy's voice began to grow distant, becoming quieter and quieter. Before long, her vision went black and she fell and hit the floor. Laura was a single mother who was known for throwing herself at work. She worked long hours to have the resources available for her family. She did her best to be active, and with having young sons and going to work, she was always tired. She discussed this with her friends and they voiced their concerns. However, Laura brushed it off as letting her work get to her and continued with her routine. As she was a single mother, she was used to finding tips and tricks to help her get through everyday life. She thought she found a way to battle her tiredness. She had researched a selection of vitamins and she hoped that would help her feel more alert. She tried taking vitamin E, vitamin C, vitamin B, zinc and iron, but she wasn't noticing any improvements. Her friends continued to voice the concerns and wanted her to see a doctor. Laura continued to listen to them and eventually made an appointment with her doctor. After a short visit, all the doctor did was give her a sick note so that she could stay home and rest. Laura hoped this would help her and her fatigue. She would recall the previous nights with her sons. Laura had young boys and was doing her best to keep up with all their energy. Her youngest son was only a baby. He would cry all night and Laura would have to attend to him. She knew he didn't mean to pull her hair or kick her while she was sleeping, but it was still a disruptive night. She was awake all night tending to him, and listening to his crying gave her a headache. All of a sudden, Laura noticed a chill along her spine. As the days and weeks went on, she noticed her symptoms worsening. Whenever she saw her reflection, she noticed how pale she was. She never had any energy to do anything anymore. Laura was used to running on low energy with being a single parent, but this was unlike anything she had experienced in the past. It seemed like no matter how much rest she got, she was always tired. No matter how much she did during the day, she didn't feel hungry. She had stopped eating because she didn't have the appetite anymore. Laura's friends continued to notice her worsening condition and voiced their concerns. They eventually convinced her that it was time to go back to the doctor to look for more information. Prior to this mystery illness, Laura was sick with the flu but had recovered. Our friends were wondering what this illness was. It seemed she had fully recovered in the weeks before, but now her health was declining. When Laura went back to the doctor the second time, it seemed the doctor had taken her much more seriously. He noticed how her condition seemed to decline between visits and the prescribing rest wasn't going to help. He sent Laura for a multitude of tests to check the levels in her body and to see if he could find anything that was out of balance. Laura waited for the test to come back and she was disappointed in the results. Every single test came back perfect. According to the test, there was nothing wrong with her, and she was perfectly healthy. Laura was so frustrated, and she knew this was not the case. This started a long road of Laura working with her doctor and trying to figure out what was going on. Laura was prescribed multiple antibiotics. It seemed like all the antibiotics that doctor could think of. He was hoping he could see her reaction to each of the medicines and learn more about her condition. However, what ended up happening was the opposite of what he hoped. As Laura tried the different antibiotics, she wasn't feeling any better. Laura was paying attention to the condition of her body and the symptoms that she was feeling. She noticed that she wasn't feeling any better and she was getting worse. All over her body started hurting and aching. She could barely stay awake throughout the day. This made her life at work and her home life with her son so hard. All these physical and emotional symptoms were really taking a toll on her mental health. Her friend was so worried about what was going to happen next. They wondered if maybe there wasn't a physical illness and Laura was just imagining all of this. Laura knew that this wasn't true. She knew there was something going on in her body even if the doctor wasn't able to find it. Eventually, her friend realized that they were wrong and that she must be definitely trying to find an answer. Convinced that a doctor wasn't able to help her anymore, Laura tried a new route to find answers. She researched some online forums and tried to find help in the online medical community. She chatted with some experts and tried a variety of herbal remedies, desperately hoping that something would help her finally feel better. She continued to be disappointed as nothing improved. Laura was starting to feel like she would never feel like her old self again. No matter what she tried or what circle experts were prescribing, she continued to feel her health declining each and every single day. She felt so alone and isolated with what she was dealing with. Laura was starting to wonder if maybe this was all in her head. Frustrated and feeling defeated, Laura went back for a third time to her doctor. She updated him on all the things that she had tried and didn't work, hoping that he would be able to find a new option for her. The doctor sent her for a new round of tests, and she had to wait weeks until the results came back. While she was waiting, she continued to be in pain and was so concerned about what was happening to her body. After a few weeks, the doctor's office called her and asked her to come in for a visit. Laura felt a knot in her stomach. She was happy to speak with the doctor in person, but she was worried about what he might be telling her in this upcoming visit. That day, Laura felt a huge wave of fatigue hit her. She was almost done with her day at work, but she had to continue to persevere, and she thought about getting back to her sons at home. She had noticed that picturing her sons helped her focus and get through her day. She distracted herself by thinking about what they might do together. When she got home from work, she noticed herself feeling better as she focused on her sons and thought about their night ahead. However, this feeling didn't last long. As she drove home, she was looking forward to spending some time with her boys. She was hoping that playing with them and holding them in her arms would make her feel better. She was almost home when she experienced this strange sensation again. Suddenly, this intense feeling hit her. Laura was used to feeling tired, but this was not just fatigue. She felt the most intense wave of fatigue, and she felt dizzy at the same time. She tried her best to focus on driving, but she knew she was in a dangerous situation. Laura slammed on the brakes, and she mashed to pull her car over to the side. Everything in her body hurt, and she had to give in to the pain. She sat on the side of the road, hoping for the pain to pass and that she would be okay. After some time, she felt better and felt that she was capable of driving home. When she made it home, she saw her sons waiting for her with big smiles, and she pulled them into a hug. She tried to act like everything was okay and put on a brave face for her boys. However, on the inside, Laura was full of worry and panic. Laura's family lives near the beach, and going for a walk is one of their favorite things to do. As they walked along the shore, Laura began to feel a calmer period. She was excited to spend the night with her sons and for all the adventures that they would have together. When they got home, Laura was feeling so much better, and the boys took out some Legos to play. When she was playing with her sons, she noticed her eyelids getting heavy, her breathing becoming shallow, and she did her best to fight it. Fatigue got the best of her though, and she passed out in the middle of playing with her sons. Her son saw mommy asleep on the floor and took a picture of her and posted on Instagram from her phone. Her friends saw the picture and contacted her right away. Soon, Laura would find out the real reason for all these symptoms. After consulting with a new doctor, Laura was diagnosed with bowel cancer. This is a rare disease for someone who is otherwise healthy and in their mid-30s. It was pretty hard to process. All I wanted to know is if I was going to die or not, in that they really couldn't answer. Laura began going from chemoradiotherapy on a daily basis almost 1 year after her original diagnosis. Laura continues to be strong and fight her illness. She is a pillar of strength and hope for her sons. If you enjoy hearing about inspirational people like Laura, hit the like and subscribe button. You'll be among the first to see our new videos. We hope to see you next time for some more inspirational stories.